If it's done, we can already eat. I'm so hungry, guys. So let's dig in. It's one of my favorite dishes, especially if I'm on a diet, because it's really good. We'll be just adding the patis. We call it here patis. We will be also adding the oyster sauce.
Small amount only.
Only a small amount, and also this Knorr chicken cubes so that it would be more flavorful. So, and we'll be just adding a small amount of oyster sauce. After putting in the oyster sauce, the chicken cube, and the patis, we'll be just waiting for it to soften about 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll be just covering this up and wait. You'll be just adding water. A small amount of water will do. So you can balance the saltiness and the flavor of the chicken. Let's just wait for that to boil. Afterwards, we can add in the ingredients like the carrots and other things. So let's wait for a couple of minutes. We'll be putting in the carrots. Wait for that to soften up. Next, we'll be adding the other ingredients, such as we call it sayote here in Cebu, or we call it sayote in Bisaya. We already put in the sayote, guys, so it puts in more colors of the food. As you can see, it's already delicious. Smell is really tempting, and I'm already hungry. We'll be waiting for it to soften. Next is we'll be adding the spring beans. So since we don't have cornstarch, what I did is I found an option, which is flour. So I put flour with water so that the soup would be a little bit thicker. So guys, if you have cornstarch, that's much more perfect for the soup. But if you don't have cornstarch, you can definitely just use flour with water. It allows the soup to be thicker and much more richer. So next is spring beans, and we can also add in the okra and the broccoli. And let it boil again. So I'll be covering this up. And the last ingredient would be the cabbage. So it's boiling milk, guys. We need to have a taste test, because if it's too salty, we can add in water, and if it's, you know, a little bit blunt, you can just add in famous magic syrup here in the Philippines, or you could add in salt. It's a little bit blunt, so we need to add in salt. Yeah, this it's already good. And you can add in magic syrup. It's all good. You can just stir that up. I thought it was a little bit salty because I put a lot of patis in it, but it turned out a little bit blunt. I was looking forward. It was a little bit salty though. We need to cover that again up until the salt would melt. And next is we'll be putting in the cabbage. Next is the cabbage. So cabbage are really fresh. And it's a lot of cabbage. I'm just putting that in, mixing that with the other ingredients. And we'll cover it up until it's softened. Since we don't have bell pepper, so we just use pepper instead, and spring onions to add in some flavor, and at the same time it would really smell good. Mix it well, and afterwards, if it's done, we can already eat it. I'm so hungry, guys. So let's dig in. Yes, and it's already cooked. And we'll be adding, or we'll be putting it in our plate right now so that we could eat while it's still hot. And of course, don't forget to turn off the stove. Look at this. It smells like heaven, guys. Wow, it smells good. So this dish is called chop suey. So it's one of my favorite dishes, especially if I'm on a diet, because it's really good, very nutritious, and it's not really it's really healthy. It's not really like full of fat or cholesterol, but it's really healthy, and it's good for if you're doing exercise. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. So let's eat, guys.